Idaho Innovation Center, taking your business to the next level. The Idaho Innovation Center is a business incubator located in eastern Idaho, providing resources to companies where entrepreneurs can confidently and aggressively start and grow their small business through collaboration, education, mentoring, and shared resources. Here's what some tenants of the Idaho Innovation Center have said. The classes they hold at the Idaho Innovation Center have proven to be invaluable for my business and its growth. The Idaho Innovation Center has given my business the support when needed in areas of business strategy, marketing, networking, and growth opportunities. An innovative tenant said, "The training and mentoring has helped us accomplish things we would never have done on our own. Thank you." And a technology client said, "The Idaho Innovation Center has been a perfect partner for our startup. The staff is focused on taking business to the next level, and we have." And finally, I would recommend the Idaho Innovation Center as the best resource to either start or grow your business in eastern Idaho. The Idaho Innovation Center, stimulating entrepreneurial spirit and innovation through business growth and development in eastern Idaho. At the Idaho Innovation Center, entrepreneurs can confidently grow their business through networking and educational opportunities with experienced business professionals. There is access to many free amenities, including one-on-one business mentoring and advising through the Small Business Development Center, conference room usage, and reception services. Everything we do at the Idaho Innovation Center is designed to help keep costs down and energy up for growth-oriented businesses.
Let the Idaho Innovation Center take your business to the next level.
Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin Business Virtual Power Lunch. Please welcome your hosts, Tyler Price and Brian Magleby.
All right. Wow. We live? We are on. All right. Tyson says we're live, so we are live.
We're not quite. We're at a new doing this new at the Idaho Innovation Center. For this week only, we couldn't fit all of our guests in our normal studio. Yes, we are missing our green screen.
Yeah.
Can we do this show without the green screen?
Yeah. Tyson, run back to the office real quick.
So. Yeah, we're excited for today's show. We've got this is the first time that we've done anything like this, but we've got an extended show today. So we're warning you right now that today's show will be about an hour long. We're excited. There's reasons why we're doing it.
And I think anybody that's had an idea that wants to take it to market, these guys have done it.
Yep.
And then we also got the patent attorney to help that process that we'll give some time to as well.
He'll be on the show at the very end. So we're excited to have a patent attorney in eastern Idaho.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited to have Brian back here at the end. And we also got Jack Briggs. He's a trademark specialist, and he'll be on here at the end. So stay tuned at the end of the show. We got a good little mini training at the end talking about patents and trademarks. And does your business need it?
Yeah. And how about last week? I was sitting on a beach last week.
Look at this tan. Look at this. All the lights we have on here just kept glowing on.
Yeah. And it was fantastic. But
sunny San Diego.
And I missed the fair.
Brandon Bird.
I love the fair. This year we're going to go listen to some music and eat some food and do all that type of stuff.
Cole Swindell, my tickets are there already, so I'm excited to see Cole. The kids are trying to talk me into seeing Fluffy again.
Yeah, there's an Andy Grammer that's coming too. I highly recommend Andy Grammer.
I keep hearing more and more about him.
Yeah, we went and watched a show of his in San Diego about 6 months ago. Fantastic.
Wow.
Worth it.
Well, Brandon Bird, so it was nice to have on here. And 2 weeks from today, we're going to have the guy that's brought all of these entertainers to the fair. He's with IE Productions. He's a great friend of mine, Gary Stewart. He'll actually be on here. And maybe we can talk him into maybe giving us a Fluffy ticket.
Yeah, or I'd take an Andy Grammer because I haven't bought my ticket.
Well, we'll just see if he can bring something. We'll try to give something away to our audience as well.
Not to me.
So,
all right, whatever.
Well, whatever. We'll give something away. So stay tuned. He'll be on the 23rd. And we'll talk about next week's guest at the very end. We've got a great guest lined up for next week.
Done some great things, yeah.
So let's talk about our sponsors.
How about those sponsors? Well, New Line Media, we like that Tyson kid.
He's pivoted today for us.
Boy, he's had to hustle a little bit and wanted to punch at least Brian and me slightly, but he's brought his studio here. If you got video needs, if you got production needs, if you need a drone, whatever you need, really, New Line Media is worth talking with and seeing what Tyson can do for you.
It is. And Bullpine Marketing keeps our website up to date. So all of these shows that we post on our show, we actually have more people that watch them, a lot more people that watch them after the fact than our live. We like the people who tune in live, but because they have the chance of winning the gifts. And by the way, we're giving away some gifts.
Got some gifts, let me tell you.
If you watched our Facebook Live, we've got some gifts to give away at the end of this show. So $50 to a steakhouse maybe in town. So pay attention. There will be some trivia questions.
And BBSI, this group's been with us from the beginning and helped this thing really be a thing. If you have any sort of HR, payroll, staffing, anything from beginning to end, exit strategies, whatever you need, BBSI has some of the sharpest people in Eastern Idaho to help with that.
And SBDC and the Idaho Innovation Center, which is bringing you the production today. So very good.
Any space at the Idaho Innovation Center right now?
We do have a couple offices, and we may have a bay opening up.
Wow.
And those bays are hard. We only have 7 of those bays.
Yeah.
But when they open up, it's like I've had at times had 5 people on a waiting list.
Yeah. Well, if you're a business starting out and looking for an incubator type situation, and you get Brian McAbee as a coach during your time, they have a 95% success rate from when they graduate from here.
What's the normal business?
Yeah, it's flipped, actually. Typically, business
95% fail.
So that's a huge deal.
So ours is just the opposite. So very good. Well, we're excited about today's show. We do have a couple classes lined up that we want to talk about. The QuickBooks class. The QuickBooks class, we got a digital marketing class and the systemizing sales for success. And those are all classes starting in September, the digital marketing in October, and the systemizing sales. So those are 3 classes coming up. Now, this is something we just got made aware of this last week, but we have an Invention Con. If you could put up that flyer, the Invention, do you have the Invention Con?
There we are.
There it is. So this is a 3-day conference, a free conference that the United States Patent Trademark Office is putting on. And if you want to register for that, it goes from 12 to 5 Eastern time the next 3 days. It starts tomorrow and goes through Friday. And I've looked at the agenda, and they've got some great classes on that. So it's a free conference put on by the United States Patent Trademark Office. And so if that interests you, let me know, and I can send you that link to get the free tickets for that. So that's something we just got made aware of just about a week ago.
Yeah,
so,
well, it kind of goes with what we're talking about today.
It does. So it's probably a lot of our audience should be attending that class. So very good. Well, we're excited we've got 3 inventors. We had 4. The 4th one, unfortunately, had some medical issues come up and couldn't be here. So Dave Vossas there at the end, we wish him the best. Our thoughts and prayers are with him, but he had some health issues. So we've got 3 awesome inventors today: Craig Muleit, and Neil Marion and Adam Stock. And they're all in different processes of the patenting of their products, and we're going to learn all about them. But we wanted to get you familiar with each one of them. So we've got 3 quick videos to watch, one of them on each of their companies. So we'll go to that, and then we'll welcome our inventors onto the set.
Are you sick and tired of constantly running out of hot water, or has your water heater quit you altogether? Well, regardless of its age, if your tank isn't leaking, there should be no reason to replace it. The biggest problem associated with age is sediment buildup. It'll shorten its life, decrease its efficiency, and cause massive shortages of hot water. At this point, you're looking at buying a brand new water heater, and it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. For under $100, you can buy a new tool called the Turbo Tank Cleaner, and you can extract this sediment out of your tank, and you can have it working like brand new again.
Put a Turbo Tank Cleaner in your tank and keep your money in the bank.
Imagine not being able to sit at the table with your friends or family because your wheelchair won't fit. Unfortunately, this leaves many unable to socialize or participate in activities, often isolating them to a table all alone. The patented inclusion table solves this problem like no other table on the market. With 4 tabletop sections that independently adjust both vertically and horizontally, the inclusion table can accommodate any dining chair or wheelchair, allowing all persons to be included. The inclusion table looks like a regular dining table, but allows each section to be adjusted quickly and easily. Right-click for up and down, left-click for in and out adjustments. Other features include a static center for condiments or decor, 4-wheeled caster system for easy movement, leveling legs and feet for greater stability, a smooth undersurface to prevent injury. The inclusion table provides the following benefits. Increases PDPM reimbursements for SNFs by improving patient and resident independence, improves emotional and psychological well-being through increased socialization, prevents staff injuries and decreases burden of care, provides 6 feet social distancing when sections are fully extended, and increases the marketing value of your facility. The inclusion table, improving lives by including everyone.
Up next is Cargo Made Easy, an automatic qualifier from the Idaho Entrepreneurial Challenge. Cargo Made Easy ensures that there is safety in the logistics industry and helps businesses save money. Let's check it out.
So Cargo Made Easy designs and manufactures motorized tie-down straps. I've seen so many accidents caused from failing to secure a load, not just what happens to the truckers, but the families that are involved from it. To start a company is hard enough. I love being around this kind of environment. These are people who know what I'm going through. I am in the pursuit of something that's going to make a difference in the world. This is my 2-minute drill. Hello, my name is Adam Stock. I am the founder of Cargo Made Easy, and I am proud to come from a family of truck drivers. My grandfather, father, and uncles were all truckers. I've grown up around trucking. In the United States, over $500 million is generated through the logistics industry. Last year alone, due to COVID-19, this industry has grown 45%. Though these numbers are great, there are still problems in the industry. 11% of products are damaged during the transportation process, and over 200,000 accidents occur due to logistics failures. My customers used to have this problem. Back then, when an employee would fail to secure a load because they didn't have a strap on hand, or because they were just too lazy to untangle the strap they did have. These little problems cost individual companies thousands of dollars a year in liability cost and product damage. These little problems can also become bigger. In the United States, annually, there are over 500 deaths that occur due to logistics accidents. My grandfather was one of those 500 deaths. My family knows firsthand the importance of safety in the logistics industry. And that's why we at Cargo Made Easy design and manufacture motorized tie-down straps that are integrated into truck beds and trailers. A strap is always ready and available for use, never tangles, and is so simple to operate with just the press of a button. Our Kevlar straps are knife resistant and flame resistant, making us the first lockable cargo system on the market. And it can be installed with just the use of a drill and a few wrenches. I am finishing my degree in mechanical engineering and already have years of industry experience. I've surrounded myself with a team of industry experts and business professionals. And with the funds, we will be able to finish our U.S. utility patent and purchase a CNC plasma table. I appreciate your time, and I ask that you consider Cargo Made Easy.
Well, there we go. little bit about the three guys here
All
and what
three
they've
of them.
done. But one thing, Adam, just to address with maybe is as people start launching their idea, their product, you went and have competed in a few competitions that helped you, that you won. He was boasting a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Just like
I was too if I'd won what he'd done.
just
so.
kidding. No, but you did. You won three of them, right? You had a solid idea. Did you have a working prototype at that point? No. So, but then you won, and they give you real money.
Yep.
And then from that, you were able to go off. But how do people find out about that aspect of it to compete in competition?
Yeah, so I had actually a friend of mine, like at home, told me about the IEC, the Idaho Entrepreneuring Competition, hosted through Boise State. And one of the things he recommended to me was go to this competition. All you got to do is compete with some other college students, and if you win, they give you a good check. And for me, when I went that year, they gave me $8,000. And so that really got things moving from literally was an idea, had a few CAD drawings. I was going to school for mechanical engineering. And I just gave it a pitch, gave it a go, see if I won it, and I won it. And because I won the Idaho Entrepreneuring Competition, they invited me to participate in the Boise Entrepreneuring Week, hosted in Boise every year. Amazing program as well. And from that, they gave me the $25,000.
That's in October, right?
That's in October.
Yeah.
Anybody looking to do that, absolutely go for it.
Check
That
it out. But you got to start now.
like literally now. And so that was a great help because it went from an idea, one little bit of funding, was able to buy some equipment to start manufacturing and prototyping. Then I had a nailed design. When I won the Boise Entrepreneuring Week, they gave me 25,000. I was finally able to fund a patent. My lifelong dream has always been to have a patent. I've always wanted to be like Thomas Edison, right? Those are the kind of guys that had patents. And the kid who wants to be an entrepreneur and an engineer, you got to have a patent to like say you're something in that world.
Yeah.
So, because of the Boise Entrepreneuring Week and the Idaho Entrepreneuring Challenge in Boise, I was able to literally live my dream.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I never thought I'd be doing this
Well,
ever.
I think that's great, and it definitely is putting yourself out there. But getting a patent's super easy, right, Craig? What do you think? Just
No,
no.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about the stuff. What did you have your aha moment, and what caused it? And then, yeah, what
Tell
about?
us about your product.
Yeah, tell us the product, and then aha moment, and the process to go through it.
The turbo tank cleaner. It's the world's #1 water heater cleaning tool. There's literally nothing else like it.
Yeah.
And how I came up with the idea is I'm a landlord and I'd have to clean out water heaters. I just couldn't believe there was nothing out there that could extract that sediment from the water heater. And I started coming up with prototypes and designs, and pretty long, drawn out process of trying something, remodify it, try it again, and finally came up with a good prototype that really worked well. And
Yeah.
And the repair companies don't because they just like to
Yeah.
throw you a $1,000, $2,000 bill to replace your water heater.
yeah, that was
This can save you from not having to do that.
yeah. Water heaters are designed to fail. Basically.
Yeah.
Planned obsolescence, and they're designed only to last a certain number of years. And the biggest problem is the sediment, and once it builds up, it covers up the lower elements, and
Yeah.
you're running off the top element, water heater.
Yeah. Very good. How about it? You know, you're kind of in an industry that you're helping. Explain what type of industry you're in, the challenges you've seen, and what was your aha moment in moving towards your path.
Okay. Well, I'm an occupational therapist by profession. And gosh, when I first moved here to Idaho in 2004, I was working with a patient that had MS, multiple sclerosis. And she couldn't get up to a dining table.
Yeah.
And this became a real problem because she was a very social person. So got her up to the table, couldn't fit her up there. I put her up to a tray table, which kind of takes her back away from the table, takes her out of that social group. As you know, when you get older, you don't hear as well. So kind of took her out of that social group. Then we put her up to a table that elevates. What was good for her, but it wasn't good for everybody else because the table was literally up to the chins on the other patients. So I'm like, what's the solution to the problem? So I started doing some research, and there was no solution.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do I do about it? So I started drawing designs, tables, how to do it. And it's a process. I mean, I just didn't come to me overnight. It took me from 2004, 2005 to 2017 to finalize my final design. And yeah, so it's a process. And I'm sure these guys also went through that process of you know, redesigning things and making them better.
Yeah.
So remember one night I was thinking, how can I make my table better? I had a crank thing to bring the table up, but I didn't even have the out function of the table if you saw the video.
Yeah.
And I had this computer on wheels at work that I used to carry my laptop and do my notes. And it would go up and I could sit down or stand up. And then also had a tray table that would come out towards me for my keyboard.
Yeah.
So boom, that's where I got the idea for bringing the table out. I knew the concept of bringing it up, not out. So now we can adjust the table to the patient versus.
And it can be multiple patients.
What?
Your table can have it,
Yes.
so it's 4
Yes,
sections.
4 sections that are independently adjustable, both vertically and horizontally. And pretty much and I took measurements of thousands of wheelchairs, literally, to be able to fit and get the right design and the right dimensions fit pretty much any wheelchair.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well, let's talk. I want to ask a question to all three of you here. How long have you had your patent, and what was the process to get it? Tell us about that process.
Start with Craig.
Yep, Craig.
I've had it a couple of years now, and but I started with a company called World Patent Marketing, and they were kind of a scam.
Scam, yeah.
And I was with them for like 2 years, and they kept sending me drawings and literature to approve, and there's always a bunch of mistakes on it. I'd send it back and wait, and they'd send me something else. And make a long story short, I finally had to drop them, and they
Lost thousands of dollars.
They were forced out of business and lost thousands of dollars, and got another guy local. Well, the guy down in Salt Lake. Sandy Utah.
Yeah.
And
and now we have a better solution to that. We have a patent attorney now in town.
Right.
People will meet him at the end of the show. So
yeah.
So very good. So how long ago was that you got everything patented?
It was a couple of years ago anyway.
Wow.
And
so what was that process from beginning to end? So if you took out maybe part of the initial company, like what do you think it should have taken you to get that to patent?
Oh, it probably took a year or so to get it patented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quick, I think. So yeah, usually it's a year to 2 years to get that done. So
Yeah, the whole
is it 3?
Took a year and a half.
Did it year? So very good. So but you're currently selling your products on Amazon.
That's correct.
And so you're massively going for it. I met with Craig and he's got quite the advertising budget, and he's going for it and selling quite a few of them on Amazon each and every day. Good. What was your patent process like?
My patent process, I thought I wasn't going to do one at first, actually. I had gotten some advice from a former employer that owns an engineering company. Shout out to Creative Home Engineering.
There you go.
And they definitely set me up for a great life. And one of his advice to me was don't get a patent, because all someone's got to do is change your design a little bit or have more money. And he said the biggest thing is someone with deeper pockets than you hold you up in court. They'll drain you in court fees, and then you can't own the business, and they'll go in and they'll just buy you out. I was like, well, geez, yeah, I don't have the deep pockets. I don't have the funding. I'm a college kid. So I really thought about not getting a patent. And it was just more of a be the first to market, have a quality product, and just run with it. Because on a patent, you have a time window. The moment you go public to where people can see it, you've got usually about a year. At least I hope the training will talk a little bit more about that. I'm not a pro on it. But it was about a year. And so I realized, well, the moment I start talking about this thing publicly, I got a year. And I'm like, I am not going to be able to make, I was quoted around like 15,000 to get one. I'm like, I can't come up with 15,000 as a college student with a wife and kids.
Yeah.
Can't do that. And because of the IEC and the Boise Entrepreneuring Week, I suddenly had the funding, and I decided, I'm going to get the patent. When we got the patent, the process wasn't that painful. I used Brad Frazier down in Boise, Idaho. Great experience. He was able to draw the patent, have it all ready for file in about a month's time. Absolutely perfectly written. Luckily for me, being a mechanical engineer, going to school for mechanical engineering, here at BYU Idaho, they were able to teach you how to draw schematics for your design. And so as I started a prototype and design, I never had to go to the process of sending out to someone else to do my prototypes and designs. I was able to do a prototype myself, make a few changes, change it in the schematics. And when it came time to file the patent, I said, here are the designs. What do you want? What numbers? And so I really kind of jumped out of the prototyping phase and paying another company to do that.
And the company that funded this was the winning that competition.
Winning
is
the
that right?
competition.
Well, that was good to use that money to do that and not go to Hawaii.
Yeah,
So it's good
I
for
was
you.
thinking that or a new plasma table.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like 15 grand for an awesome piece of equipment to manufacture faster.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of advice from people a lot smarter than me. And it was eventually you might want to license this out or license a part of the company, right? I want to get into the industrial company, industrial trucking company. I don't want to touch that. So I want to license that out. You can't do that without.
Right.
So that's why.
Neil, what was your process like?
Well, I used Peterson and Company in Boise, Idaho. Ken and Barbara there did an excellent job with my utility patent. I had it within a year and a half. Of course, you go through the patent pending process, and then you actually get the patent itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, my I don't know how long yours is. Mine was 29 pages, and I've been through that through a fine tooth comb, that goes through errors and everything, and so. You spend late night.
Up to you. It's not on camera.
Yeah,
there,
move it over.
There you go. That is the patent.
Yeah,
So,
and it's gosh, I don't know how long, but it's very detailed.
well,
And I spent many nights going reviewing that and making sure that everything was just perfect with it. And my wife got me this nice trophy too. So
Yeah.
very good. Well, this is nice to see. There's three different people. Is your product currently being sold? Not quite yet.
Just about.
Just
My
about
patent
ready.
is pending, but we're still going to market.
Right.
And so I'm hoping by next month our website is up and running and people can start ordering.
And your product is going to be starting available in the spring. Is that right?
Yes, should be end of February, early March. We're starting mass production this October, and it takes a month and a half to get right here. So
Well,
yeah.
very good. We got three different people in different levels of their.
Yeah. But this is the process, right? You have the dream. If you're not willing to, well, if you're willing to be vulnerable, you enter competitions. You figure out solutions to problems that you see every single day, and here we go.
And so, give me an idea. What can people expect to pay for that patent? What's the pricing that you had to, and I call it invest into it.
I'd say 15 to 20,000. So around there.
15 to 20,000.
That's what mine.
Yeah.
Mine was about 12, and then you have the resubmitting after about 18 months, and so they tack that on. So 15. Yeah,
That's very good.
I was thinking 50 when I started.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised. It's a lot cheap.
Very
cheap.
Very good.
But that's just the utility patent. I also have a design patent that I applied for, so probably a little more than that. I have a design patent that's pending right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
And what happens, because you guys have put yourself out there, you've done this, what happens if someone starts infringing on what you do?
You should talk to the lawyer and
Yeah.
Lawyer up.
Lawyer.
And we've got the good one on the end of the show today.
Yeah.
So he is so knowledgeable.
Because sometimes it comes back to what you said, you can license other companies to use your patent, right? But you're getting paid for not having to do some of the heavy lifting. So that can be a strategy, or it's just shutting them down altogether, right? But it's heavy lifting and work that you probably don't want to do. But
I'm excited to say one day, like, you're going to be talking with my attorney.
yeah, that's awesome. Brian says that every day.
You do need to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Have an idea. Keep it quiet. Keep your drawings to yourself. Nobody knew about my idea except for my family, my close friends that I knew. So once that gets out there, it's
Oh yeah, and I'd piggyback on what he says. If you need to talk to someone, like consult to move forward, get a non-disclosure agreement. You can get those off online, different places. I'm sure.
Yeah, we have one.
SBDC, yeah, you guys can get those, and just have someone sign it. There came a point where I needed to talk to someone, but I knew it'd come back to bite me when I filed. So I just started having people filing it. So when I went into the attorney, it was like, here's 6 of them. And they're like, sweet, you're prepped and ready.
Yeah.
So start
And
getting
read the fine print. They're only good for a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
It's great to have it and not need it than to need it.
So, Craig, you're kind of a little bit ahead of these, is where you're in the process of selling. So, what have you found that is the best way to market your product? If they go to your website, what are they going to find?
Well, my website I'm changing right now. It's more of a landing site, and it's to educate the people. You know, there's a lot of information they need to know. I'm covering stuff like how to repair water heaters, just a big gamut of stuff. And then from there, it sends them to Amazon site, and they buy the product on Amazon. They collect all the taxes, ship it, take their share, and send me the money.
Send you the balance.
Yeah, I'm basically retired. I don't want to mess around.
Yeah.
Mailing stuff.
You just love the check that comes. That's
Well, it's not really about the money. It's just the challenge of
Yeah. Well, the money doesn't hurt. So.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So somebody then looks at this and they're like, yeah, I can do that. Like your product, you have to educate the client or the consumer, because I didn't know this thing existed. 2 years ago, I just bought a new water heater when I probably could have got away with using your product, right? And it was
Yeah, and that's the
$1,200.
main challenge I'm facing now is people just don't know about it.
Yeah.
There's never been anything like this water heater. And they're just disposable. People just throw them away, get another one,
Yeah.
and they don't have to spend that much.
Yeah. Very good.
very good. Well, I want to ask a question to all three of you again. Would you do it again?
Oh hell yeah!
Would
Yeah.
you? All three of them, that they would do it again.
Maybe not the same way, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it
You
again.
would do it again. So I highly recommend that. That's motivation to see, especially where we have all three different levels of production area. So tell us, what else is what's next for each of your companies?
Well, I'm changing my marketing. I'm revamping my website. I've got a new marketer in town here, Strive Marketing.
Strive,
and they're going to be building a bunch of content for me, and they're going to do some affiliate marketing where these influencers that have like YouTube pages and stuff, you know, with a whole bunch of different subscribers, they're going to reach out to them, and they're going to give them like a link where after they watch their video, they can click on the link, and the customer will receive so much off, and they'll receive so much off.
Yeah.
Gonna try that.
Yeah.
Very good. But anything next for you?
Getting to market.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about. It's been designing, and I'd like to get paid. Like that's what I'm excited about.
Money out, money
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much different than a service business. You don't get paid until you're done. Like,
Yeah.
and it's been a long going process. So I'm looking forward to getting paid.
The getting some revenue in.
Just something back.
Very good. I've met with Adam quite a bit, but this guy is I'd call him a young genius. He's got so many different ideas. I've heard of his that he's got this isn't the first patent that this guy's going to be doing. So
No, I might be picking his brain on some things.
exactly. So what's yours what's the next step for you to get your
Well-
products here so you can start selling?
Go to inclusiontable.com. Our website is up and going.
Okay.
You can, inquire about investing. You can pre-order your table so that you're on the list. I really believe this is going to catch fire quickly. So go pre-order your inclusion table, your own. But we're probably going to be collaborating with a big medical supply company, and they'll do all the healthcare markets in the U.S. and Canada. So we're going to sign a 3-year contract with them. They're very interested in my table, as well as, and then we're going to be doing the marketing on our side for all of the business, schools, restaurants, businesses, because there's so many applications to the inclusion table, not just in healthcare, but all across the board. So, go on the inclusiontable.com, you'll see a new commercial we just made, and you'll see a young boy in a wheelchair in a school setting with his friends, accessing the table, being able to be included in activities.
Yeah.
So in the classroom. So there's a lot of applications for it.
Yeah.
So we're excited for the future. Sky's the limit. Seriously, this thing has limitless potential.
And so when do you feel like you'll be shipping products that are ordered? March. And how about,
Hopefully next month.
okay. And you've been shipping product for how long now, Craig?
Couple years.
Okay, yeah, you're old hat. then.
Yeah. He's already enjoying that monthly paycheck that you guys are yet to look for. When we invite people to be on our show, we ask them to give some small business advice, and I just wanted to go through some things that Craig here said. His suggestion is find your niche, find a unique problem, and discover a solution. And it also adds, don't just do it for the money. He's in the retirement, so he of course would say that. But take advantage of internet marketing and advertising. It is a powerful tool. And Adam, he talks about Simon Sinek gave the thing about being a finite player versus an infinite player. Explain that.
So I love this. When I heard that, it changed everything. And finite player says, I got to be the best, right? But what happens when you're not the best, right? And you start to lose, right? You look at the Wright brothers. He had a competitor when they were trying to build the airplane. This guy had all the government funding. I can't remember his name. Had all the government funding, everything in the world, right, to build it. The Wright brothers were like a bicycle shop with no funding. And this guy was all talk, and finally there came a point in which Wright brothers beat him. And rather than being like, "Hey, let's make this better," the guy dropped out. Never heard of him ever again. The Wright brothers went off.
That's why you don't know his name.
That's why you don't know. Perfect, right? But being a finite player, you recognize some days you're going to be in the league, and some days you're not. Some days you're going to have a great design, and then someone's going to beat you. Or some days the product and the company is going to be working, and it's not. But whereas an infinite player recognizes, I'm in this game for the long haul. If I ask you, like, who's first place in business, there's not. But why do we arbitrarily put that out there that I have to be first place? But if you'll be your first place self, right? Today I'm going to be my best self. I'm going to give it my all every single time. You're an infinite player. You recognize some days you're going to lose and you're going to be in the hole, and you recognize some days you're going to win. And so be an infinite player, not a finite.
I love
It's
it.
all about just being better for yourself, your family, the community, and the business. Just be your best.
I love the humility of that. So very good. And Neil, I'm going to just read these 4 things that he gave. And I hope that you guys are paying attention to this. Don't listen to distractions like market fluctuations, inflation, politics, wars, climate, and let me add the news. So if you watch the news, that's all the things you're going to hear.
Yes.
Yeah. So always stay focused on your end goal. Work hard and work smart. Have the courage to make tough decisions. Love that. And stay humble and hungry. And that kind of goes to add what Adam was saying. And just some great advice for the entrepreneurs, those people who are possibly looking for patents out there. So, is there anything else you guys want to tell us about these amazing products that you guys, and kudos for you guys for taking the steps to get your products patented? Is there anything else you want the people to know out there about your products?
I have the gift card to the restaurant,
Okay.
and it's $50 to
Texas Roadhouse.
Yep.
And who doesn't love Texas
And
Roadhouse?
I just want you guys to think about accessibility. And the reason I got this is because I want people to think about accessibility in restaurants or any public place that you go to. You know, the ADA of 1990 doesn't cover everything. It covers everything, but the word is not out there all the time. So accessibility. So when you go in a restaurant, when you go into Texas Roadhouse, think about, put yourself in their shoes. A patient that's in a wheelchair, and how are they going to get in there? How are they going to sit up to a table? So just think about that and put yourself in there.
And you could win that gift card here in just a few minutes. So
very good. Thank you.
So anything else?
I'd say for me, you think I was just talking with these guys before the show. My favorite part about running this business is everybody has a story. Like, how many times have you driven down the road and someone had a load come off? A log came off for you, right? Hay bale comes off.
I had a 4x4 steel thing in the middle of the road that had just dropped off a trailer last week.
Exactly. Everybody got one in here, right? Like, literally everyone has one. I love hearing. Now, I don't like hearing the stories, but I love hearing that I'm solving the problem. I would love to eventually, generations from now, right? This strap is built into the truck bed. There's no excuse to not have a strap. You can't say it's tangled. You can't say it's torn, and you can't say I don't have one. You've always got one on hand. easy to use. My favorite is watching like grown freaking men like having no idea how to work a ratchet strap. Push a button. I think we can all do that. Right? And I love that it's solving a problem that people are having. I would love to hear, from my kids to say, I've never seen a load come undone. Awesome. I know I've made the world a better place. Over 600 deaths occur in the United States every year from failing to secure a load. Right? That impacts families. Forget the loss of the money in businesses, right? It's the community, it's lives, and that's just simply because someone didn't tie a load down properly. And so it means something for me, right? I come from family truck drivers. It means something to haul a load the proper way, get it where it needs to be, make sure everybody's safe. And so I've got some hats here for Cargo Made. Because we like to see, like, what are you made of? We're made for cargo, and what are you going to do with it? So
Very good.
And we even put in, just to kind of remember, we put the Talkin Business in the back.
Hey, there you go. We like that. Custom made.
And I almost forgot, we've got some stickers in the hats that kind of go with, because it's important to remember what you're made of and what you stand for.
Good. Well, that's good. We're going to give that away. We got some trivia questions we're going to ask her after Craig answers that question.
Well, first of all, I'd just like people to know that this tool is actually out there and exists. And if you're having trouble with your water heater, please visit the website.
Watch the videos. They're very simple, quick videos.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. You don't have to drain your tank, but your water heater may not need cleaned. But if you're having any trouble with your water heater, check out the website. There's a wealth of information on how to fix your water heater. And there's all kinds of links to different YouTube videos walking you through that process, and do that before you call the plumber, because you'll regret it later.
Yeah. Very good. Good. Well, I've got 3 trivia questions that we're going to ask here. First of all, on Craig's turbo tank cleaner. He's mentioned it a couple times. Now, can you put my cell phone number up there?
Go.
There it is. If you can text that number, get ready to text as fast as you can. So the question, and he's going to give away one of those turbo tank cleaners, a $54.95 value if you find him on Amazon. Is that right?
That's correct.
$54.95 is the value of that. So if you could use a turbo tank cleaner, the answer, where is he currently selling all of his products? It's a common answer. That should be one of the easier ones. So if you would like to win the turbo tank cleaner, where is Craig and the turbo tank cleaner being sold? You can find it on his website.
I'm texting right now.
Sure. You're saved in my phone, so I might know that that's you. So very good. And on Adams, the trivia question to get these. Oh, and these are the value of these hats with him putting Talkin Business on the back. It doubled the value of that. So I want you to answer the question he talked about at the very beginning, and it was on his video, of what contest did he win? And where was that contest?
Which ones?
Yeah. Well, the big the $25,000 one that you got
right now.
Yeah.
This is a great shout out to them.
Yep, and I know people are getting ready to start for their October. So very good. And on Neil's, we just some great advice that you gave for the auto ride. Just thank you for that. But I want you guys watch the video on his. How many different quadrants are there on his table? So my phone's starting to light up. Oh wow, we've got a lot of people that are answering those. So answer those questions, and he's got $50 to Texas Roadhouse if you answer.
And a book on Power of Optimism.
Yeah, and hold that book up there.
Power of Optimism.
Power of Optimism book is he's going to put with that with the $50. So thank you on these inventors for being here and talking about your products. So yeah, absolutely, we wish each of you the best in the future. We're here to help support you in your endeavors. And thanks for the prizes that you brought to give away as well. So thank you very much. Very good. We're going to go right now to a quick ad from talking about the SBDC and what the SBDC has to offer. Good job, guys.
The Small Business Development Center is a statewide network made up of professional consultants in 6 locations throughout the state. Companies come to us with a felt need, and our goal is to help them reach their core need. Once The Small Business Development Center is a statewide network made up of professional consultants in 6 locations throughout the state. Companies come to us with a felt need, and our goal is to help them reach their core need. Once we determine that, that's when we start to see companies prosper.
The SBDC helped us start, hands down. Having the tech center, having the resources from the SBDC helped us start our business, and we couldn't have done it without them.
The consultants of the Small Business Development Center are professional executives, CEOs, entrepreneurs themselves that really can relate to each of the small businesses to help them achieve their goals.
They got to know our business, inside and out. We told them everything about how our business works.
I feel like the interest that he showed too gave them a little bit more of an idea of where we needed help in.
The resources being tapped into my executive team, who themselves tap into SBDC almost weekly to gain information and knowledge base that becomes very instrumental in us making the right decisions.
We measure success by the success of our businesses. We really are industry and professional agnostic. So our goal is that if we can help those companies grow and thrive and expand, then that's success to us.
All right, welcome back. And by the way, we end every segment. I kind of spaced it off with being 3 guests on, but we're going to have each one of those inventors come back and talk about their business quotes. So stay tuned. They're going to be back on to talk about their favorite quotes. We love to end the show with that. So stay tuned. At the end of the show, we're going to bring each of our inventors back to talk about their favorite business quote. But welcome, we have Brian Bath, who is an attorney here at Baird St. Clair Gaffney. He specializes in patents. Okay, and we also have Jack Briggs, who is a local business. He's actually a tenant here at the Idaho Innovation Center, and his specialty is trademarks. And we've asked each one of them to kind of give us some highlights on what are the importance of patents and trademarks. So, Brian, why don't you start off with telling some things about patents?
Oh, that sounds great. I'm excited to be here. And I'm not going to be able to cover as much as I'd like to just in the time that I'm allowed. If you have any questions about patents, any of that, the process, if you have inventions, please come talk to me.
Second slide has his contact information. So.
I offer a free consultation for an hour. Come sit down with me. We'll walk through the patent process, the different types of patents, and where your invention will fit. I just want to cover real quick. There are 3 different types of patents too. I just want to talk about our design and utility patents. So typically everything's going to fit into either design or utility. Design application patents are usually pretty easy to get through. About 90% of the time they go straight through, and you can get a granted patent application. On the utility side, it's a little more difficult. It's a longer process. Typically about 90% of the time you're going to get at least 1 rejection before you can get it through. Underneath the utility side, it's important to note that there are provisional and non-provisional patents. This is always confusing just because of the name. So if you think of it just as a placeholder application, and then as a full application that will be examined by the United States Patent and Trademark Office. A lot of times I like to push people to that placeholder application because it gets their foot in the door, gets them a filing date, and allows them 12 months to have that patent pending and get out in the market, test it, just kind of see how things are going. It allows them to get out there and talk to manufacturers, whether they want to license it, sell it, or manufacture it, allows them to do that. The other thing to note is the timeline. Design patents typically you'll hear back in about 18 months and could have a granted patent in 2 years. Utility, if you file that provisional patent, that placeholder, it'll go for 12 months and you can roll it into that full application, and then usually you'll hear back in about 18 months to 2 years. So it's a very long and drawn out process. So it's a lot of, okay, let's hurry up and get things done before the deadline, and then we're going to wait on the government and the examiner to get back to us. So,
and how long do each one of them last?
So with design patents, it's a little different with design patents. They're 15 years, but it is 15 years from the date of grant, which is different from the non-provisional utility side. So once that patent issues, then it starts the 15-year clock. On the non-provisional utility side, it's the very first filing, not the provisional filing, but the non-provisional filing, it will start the clock. So that 2.5, 3 years, it will eat away at the 20-year term that you'll have on the utility pack.
Wow. And how do you determine something that is, someone may have a great idea and they come and they talk to you. Are you kind of determining that, hey, this is patentable, or hey, you really don't have a patentable idea?
I am. So if they want, I can do a patentability search. I will search the USPTO, other websites, search engines to see if there are similar patents or products out on the market. And then I can do a side-by-side comparison. A lot of times when they come in and they're extremely simple, and I look at them like I can only talk about maybe 2 elements, those are ones that are difficult to get through because there are not as many components on it to argue with the examiner when I get to that point.
Yeah.
Very good. Let's go to the next slide there. I want to cover the things on there between the difference between the design, utility, and the objections.
Yeah, I will just jump to the rejection. So, like I said, with utility patents, you're typically going to have at least one office action or rejection, and it'll usually be under novelty and or obviousness. So, in the novelty is not too hard to get around. They say, you have elements A, B, C, D on your patent. We found one that has A, B, C, D, and it's not new, is what they're saying. The obviousness thing, everything when it comes to the patent examiners, everything's obvious. So it's not hard to get around the novelty side just because we'll add an E and go right around it. Then you hit a brick wall with obviousness. So they're going to look at that and say, well, you have elements A, B, C, D. That's great. We didn't find anything that has A, B, C, D, but we did find one with A and B and C and D. And when we put those two together and standing in your shoes when you thought of this, it would have been obvious. And a lot of times with examiners, they won't stop at 2. I had one a few weeks ago. I've never seen this before. He put 6 different applications together to say that the claim we were working on was obvious. So that's usually where the argument is with the patent office.
Wow, and you could go try to attempt to do all this on your own, or it would be very smart to contact Brian Batt. It's so nice. I've done this, been here at the Innovation Center for 7.5 years, and I've never had a local guy in town that focuses on this. So I can tell you to have you heard all of the others. They've gone to Boise and Salt Lake or got scammed by a national organization. So if you don't want that and you want to work with someone local, I can tell you I've worked with Brian for about a year now that he's been here. Is that about right? And it is so exciting to have him. He's a Baird St. Clair, one of the top firms, Baird St. Clair and Gaffney, right? Yeah, got to get all those partners in there. So absolutely an amazing firm, and encourage. It's so nice to have a local person here that we can refer people to get their patents. So very good. Anything else that people need to know about patents?
I mentioned earlier, if you have an idea, make sure that you stay quiet about it. The non-disclosure agreement was talked about, making sure that you don't disclose anything. I'll just say this real quick. After 2013, it's now a first to file system. Before that, it was the first to invent. There were some things that came over with the law from that first to invent system, and one of those being a statutory bar. If you try to sell it or talk publicly about it, it starts a 1-year clock. And if you don't file within that 1 year, then you are barred from ever filing a patent because you put it out in the public domain. You can't get it back. So that's something to be aware of.
Be aware of that. That's awesome. Great information. Good. Well, let's transition to trademarks. Jack Briggs, a specialist, and that's all he does from sun up to sundown is trademarks. So talk to us about, we got a little informational sheet there. Kind of talk to us about trademarks.
Well, a trademark is intellectual property, just like a patent. But a trademark applies to the brand name or that which identifies the product or service. So today we've heard from, for instance, Cargo Made. That's a brand name, Cargo Made. So when you see the Cargo Made logo or you see the Cargo Made listing on Amazon somewhere, you would expect that you'd be buying product from that particular source. Trademarks, to me, and patents are the great frontier. It's intellectual property, just like the great land booms of the past where people would rush out and stake their claims out there in the dirt. Now we're staking claims in a new frontier, which is the intellectual property frontier. If you have a name that you're using for a product, it is, in my personal opinion, essential that you register it as a trademark. You can register state trademarks, which are good within the state, or federal trademarks, which are good throughout the country. Anytime you put something on the internet, it just became a federal trademark if someone has access to that advertisement. The trademarks are relatively simple, and a few things happen when you file a trademark application. The first one is that you search and make sure that you are the first person to use that name, that your claim that you have the exclusive right to use this trademark is true. And that will flush out anybody else in some city somewhere that's already using the name and has been for many years, which doesn't seem like a problem. When we had the old phone books that you'd look up and find products or services, it wasn't that much of a problem. But with the internet, it's a big problem. You'll go out and invest thousands of dollars in a website, tens of thousands of dollars in a sign, and a similar amount in advertising, only to find out that someone in North Carolina who realistically, there's no chance that someone's going to stumble into their store and think it's yours, or vice versa. However, because they've got a trademark and they've got priority rights to that trademark, they can tell you to take the whole thing down. So the sign goes.
And I've seen that done, just so you know.
So it's all gone. So I think the trademark process itself is a cleansing process and gives you the opportunity to see, yes, I have rights to this trademark. I can claim this exclusively. You don't need to file or register a trademark to make a claim for a trademark, however it's recommended, because if you look and it's clear and you start using it and you get the website and the sign, someone in North Carolina could just think, hey, that's a great name. And they can go look and say, no one's registered that name. I'm going to register it. So they register the name. Now, you do have certain rights. However, if they're granted that federal trademark registration, your life is going to be a little bit ugly trying to convince them that you should be able to either coexist or you should have rights to that trademark and they shouldn't. It's just a simple process to register a trademark, and it's also relatively inexpensive. It avoids so many expenses down the road that that's why I recommend it so strong, just because it's better to know that someone else has registered that mark or someone else is using that mark before you, prior to you investing a bunch of money. If you have the registered trademark, then you can rest fairly easy, because if someone else starts using it, you have rights to tell them to stop using it. And more importantly, I think for smaller companies, if you've registered your name, no one else can register it. So that person in North Carolina, they go to register that name. Oh, they run into yours because it's public record. They can't register it. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office will not approve that application. So they won't ever get a registered trademark. So that scenario where they come back around and ask you to stop using it simply can't happen.
How long do trademarks last for?
Trademarks can last forever. There is maintenance and renewals. After 5 years, a trademark registration needs to be maintained. Then you've got a renewal every 10 years thereafter. So at the 5-year and the 10-year mark, then 20, 30, 40, theoretically, ongoingly, you can renew the trademark. The trademark needs to be in use. That's one of the keys. There is excusable non-use. For instance, a restaurant with COVID, it's okay, you shut down, we understand. But the trademark just simply needs to be used, and it can go on for theoretically hundreds of years.
Very good.
I was going to say, Brian, are you the first guy in Idaho Falls to be doing patent work, or one of the first guys, I would assume?
Well, first there have been a few that have popped
Dabble.
up, and then dabble, and then they go to the site or Melaleuca, or they hop back down to Salt Lake or over 40 feet.
So now, if someone has an idea that they want to come talk to you about, you do a free consult then.
I do, yeah. I like to just sit down and talk with them about the whole process and what they're getting into, and then talk about their invention where it fits.
And so we'll get your information up there so that people can talk to you as well.
Right. But I want people on the trademark. The question I asked every business that's watching, and we've got a lot of them today. 24 people have texted me to answer, so we will go through those texts. So, is your business name trademarked? And I want everyone to think about that. And what are some products? Is it your logo that you should have? Is it your name? But when we meet with new companies starting up, this is something that we go through and check if the name of their company, before they get their LLC or things like that, that we check and make sure that their name is not trademarked. And we have horror stories of businesses that have been shut down after they've been in business for over 30 years, that it cost them $30,000. And I wish that Brian would have been here, because Brian could have saved that company, I think. But check and make sure your business name is not already trademarked out there. And you can go to the uspto.gov to check that. Is that right? A great website for people to check, and you can check that yourself. And so I highly recommend you doing that. Is there anything else people need to know about trademarks, Jack?
Well, I think that I think it's important to know what trademarks you're using. So you'd want to have someone take a look at your company and just see what trademarks are in existence there, and are you stepping on any toes, and are there any there that are of value? Because when you go to sell your company, let's say it's a service organization, they're going to buy, sure, they're buying tables, and let's say it's a restaurant, they're buying cooktops, they're buying out a lease, but more than that, they're buying the name. The value of some of these larger purchases is in the name. That is the intellectual property that you're establishing the rights to sell. Otherwise, you're selling an idea of a name. You're not really selling anything. There's no transfer of ownership. With a trademark, you can lien against it, you can borrow against it, you can transfer it, just like any real property. You can transfer ownership, they record title. It behaves very much like real
physical product.
Right. And that's why I think it's a new frontier. It's these, you look at Amazon, and most of the big sellers on Amazon, those are all registered trademarks. And then Amazon has its own registry where you take your registered trademark and then you go to Amazon with it, and Amazon will police it for you. The day has never been better for the small business person than today. The small innovator of products, never been better than today, because you've got Etsy, and you've got Amazon, and you've got Sears and Target, and all these huge retailers with a tremendous amount to lose if there's any infringement. Because they'll go to you, if you had someone using your name, you can go to Amazon and tell them someone's using my registered trademark, and they are very swift to reply. Because if they don't, guess who's involved? Amazon. You think Amazon wants to get involved in your trademark infringement issue? They're out there protecting you. So there's never been a better day. The trademark office has never been more accessible. And the marketplace is gigantic. It's huge.
Very good. Well, this is great information. I hope that you've learned something about and to have two specialists here. We've got Brian's contact information, and if you want to see Jack, he's a tenant here at the Innovation Center. Come see me, and I will get you in contact if that would be best for you. So very good. We're gonna watch this quick video dealing with New Line Media, the person who's made some serious pivots today to accommodate our new that we came over here today, because we have the quantity of people. So watch a little thing about him, and then we're going to have our three inventors back on the show to talk about their favorite business quote.
The purest essence of what makes a business tick is sometimes fleeting. It's not always available to draw on demand. So if you can capture these things on video, you're capturing magic in a bottle. My name is Tyson, and I own New Line Media. I really believe that the keystone to any successful business is the connection that business builds with the people that it serves. Traditionally, these attributes were all achieved through interpersonal communication. It came through authentic connection. Then the arena of the internet introduced a whole range of resources that expanded what businesses were capable of achieving. But the trade-off for these new resources was that authentic connection with the people that we serve. And without that connection factor, businesses become commodities, just a name and a price tag. So the dilemma businesses face today is how to preserve that sense of connection in a digital space. And I believe that the answer to that problem is video. At New Line Media, my goal is to help you take your influence, your passion, your spirit, your essence, and make it available to anyone, at any time, no matter where they are. When the power of video is truly harnessed, it can become so much more than just a flashy way to promote yourself. Video can help your business build trust in those you serve or want to serve. It can build familiarity. It provides information and education, and most of all, it can pull your customer into your space for a few moments and give them a taste of what working with you would be like. It provides them with that in-house connection experience, no matter where they are. And that is what I focus on, because it's all about making a connection. So if you're a business owner who's ready to shift gears and unbind yourself using video as the business asset that it should be, then go to my site and submit a request to work with me. If I think I'm going to be the best fit for you, then I will reach out and we will schedule a time to meet.
Well, here we are, an hour plus, and I'm getting text messages. There we go. I had one job, and that was to say, "Hey, what's your business quote?" And I failed. You guys just got me so enamored. But yeah, let's go and share your favorite quote. We'll start here with Craig, and you're gonna be the last guy. Okay, that's right. So we'll go Craig, Neil, Adam.
Okay, my quote for success is being rich is not about getting what you want. It's about wanting what you've got.
Yeah.
Very good. I hope that people pay attention to that. There's a lot of deep meaning to that one. So very good. Very good. Neil.
Hey, when something is important enough, you do it even when the odds are not in your favor. Yeah, I kind of see inventing like climbing a mountain. You don't really, you see the top of the hill and but everything is against you.
Yeah.
The wind, the rocks, everything is against you. And, we're just trying to get to that point where we can peak and come down the hill. So.
Very good. Very good. And Adam.
Mine's a long one. This just summarizes everything about running a business, if you ask me. Les Brown said, "You want anything bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. If you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it. If you simply go after this thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and a stern pertinacity. If neither cold poverty, famine, nor gulf, sickness of pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want. If dogged or grim, you besiege and beset, with the help of God, you will get it."
Wow.
Yeah.
There's about 5 or 6 words in there that I've never heard of before, but they totally make sense.
I listen to that every day before I start my day. Every day.
Wow.
So
very good. Absolutely great.
Ending though, what is next week's show? We got a guy that I think has been really instrumental to.
He has been a business that has expanded all throughout Eastern Idaho.
Done some cool things in Blackfoot.
Kent Lott, he's bringing his son Brandon, is going to be on the show. And we're going to have Kent and Brandon on the show, and we're excited about that. Royal Theater, they've expanded. They've got 2 here in Ottawa Falls, and they've opened up the Blackfoot Mill out at Blackfoot,
which is awesome, by the way. It's worth going down and experiencing that.
And they've upgraded their theaters, and these guys do it right. And we're excited to have Kent and Brandon on our show next week. The following week after that, we're going to have Gary Stewart with IE Productions. I.e., the guy that has brought all of the entertainment to the fair.
I'm going to thank him for bringing Andy Grammer.
Andy Grammer, and I love Golson Schwindel. So, and who doesn't love Fluffy? So,
there you go.
So we're going to find all about what the process is to get talent to the fair. He's the one that came up with the Fun at the Fair, and that's where you find the tickets, funatthefair.com. So he's one that's got that. So we're excited for the future shows. Thank you, Inventor.
Thank you
for being here. This has been a great show, and we wish you, each of you, the best in selling all your products. So
thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Talkin Business. Give us a thumbs up. This is how we end the show, everybody. Thumbs up. There we go. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.